Anjali, how are you? We are live now and it's wonderful having you. So, why don't you do the honors so I can begin from there?
Hello, sir, and good afternoon to everybody. I'm Anjali, your moderator for today, also heading the sales and marketing division for MyLegal Software. MyLegal Software is a legal case management software that is created for the lawyers by the lawyers. So today is Thursday, August 25th, and we are back with our weekly webinar. Today we are going to talk about a really interesting and really talked about topic. That is, how can you try your first immigration case before immigration court? And we're going to put a special emphasis on the asylum cases. So if you're an immigration lawyer who is new before the immigration court, or an attorney who's new to the immigration practice, or if you want to learn about immigration defense, or if you're going to take up your first court hearing before the immigration judge, then this session is for you, and stay with us till the end. Our sessions are great learning tool for paralegals and law students. It's my request to all of the people who are attending the webinar who can see us live. If you have any questions that you want to ask during or after the seminar, for now you can put it on the comment section below. We will answer all of the questions at the end. Alternatively, you can also email your questions to us on legalquestions@mylegalsoftware.com. I'll repeat the email ID: legalquestions@mylegalsoftware.com. And the good news and very interesting news for the attendees is that you have a chance to win a gift hamper from MyLegal Software. All you have to do is take a screenshot or picture of this event and post it on your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram account, and you have to tag MyLegal Software. Also, any advice that is shared during the webinar does not account to the legal advice. Any information that is given during the session is very general in nature. Today, as a guest speaker, as you know, we have with us the legal influencer, the legal advisor for the president of Suriname, and the recipient of several awards, Mr. Naresh Gehi. Sir, I would like to give you a couple of minutes to tell us about your first court trial before the immigration judge.
All right, Anjali, every time you come up with something new, you're very creative when you think about everything. Now, the first case when you try can always be a harrowing experience, and you definitely need some hand holding. Or some people just basically, just show up and they're not happy when they come back. But some people do well. That's the law of Mother Nature. So generally, it's good to do a certain amount of hand holding from, any mentor. That helps a lot. So how did I do it? I basically made sure that there are many different aspects of the law. For people who are new to immigration, most importantly, they have to know is there's an immigration statute known as the INA, Immigration and Nationality Act, and you should know 8 CFR, which is Title 8 of the Code of Federal Regulations. So these are two books which are commonly referred to as the Bible. And you need to have those books with you, and they're going to be very helpful to you. That's rule number one. And even if you're a paralegal, working for a firm, and if your boss is always busy and you don't want to bother your boss, have someone who's an outside mentor who can really help you with quick questions and make sure that you do a good job. Your boss will be impressed. So rule number one is that make sure that you have the books in order. Secondly, make sure that you're well read on the law. So there are quite a few aspects. So what I'm going to do is, because I like to teach people in very simple terms, I like to keep things safe and simple. So how would I start my case? So I'm going to take you not to the immigration court. I'm first going to go through the USCIS procedure so that, it's easier for everyone to learn from the scratch. I believe in teaching you from bare basics. So take an example. You have your first client coming in your office right now. And he said, listen, I'm from El Salvador, I'm from Guatemala, I'm from Venezuela. Fantastic example of Venezuela. He comes in and you ask him a question. He said, I crossed the border and I came over here. So now the biggest dilemma before you is, what do I include in the paperwork? So sometimes I've seen lawyers who are new, just randomly writing the application, stating that if he goes back, he'll be killed because of what is going on in the country. Please don't do that. Scholars don't do that. Of course, you may win the case, but did you learn the law? Did you understand the law? You may be aware of the facts, but are you good with the law? Because there are two types of officers in USCIS. Ones are very bright and they expect you to know the law when you sit before them. And they're very, very good, some of them. And they'll ask you, why didn't you establish credibility? You have great facts. So know the law is rule number one. And when you write your asylum brief, it is an art. And I respectfully state that. I respectfully state that to my seasoned lawyers who are here. And sure, a lot of my seasoned lawyers will agree with me on this, especially like who are, who are very experienced. The biggest blunder that I've seen when people kind of write the asylum briefs, and I've one senior attorney sitting with me also listening to me, is that you write so much in that brief, that you mess it up. And that can happen because of inexperience, or either you're overly bright, but a good lawyer. When he starts an asylum case, you start with the 589 application to begin with. This is meant for people who are new to this. Make sure that your facts follow the KISS rule. So people ask me, what is KISS? Keep it safe and simple. Keep it safe and simple so that the officer understands what you're saying. You make sure that you match it to the IQ level of your client. You have a very high IQ because you're an attorney. But does the applicant have that same level of intelligence as you do? Very rarely you will find a client who will be as intelligent as you are. And when you put the facts together, make sure for ethical reasons. Recently, basically, a lawyer contacted us through My Legal Software, told us, Mr. Gehi, what I'm doing is right or wrong. I said, be careful. Always have a proper retainer with the client. Rule number one. So when I use my MyLS, the first thing I do is that I look at the retainer, which is included in this program. I make sure that I go through the retainer with them thoroughly. And another mistake, you got the retainer signed. But the problem is that the client did not understand English. You are in trouble. Because ethical rules require you to make him understand what you're saying. So be careful when you take up a case. Make sure that he understands everything, or have a translator present with him. Or go for an online translator. Like we work with My Legal Software. They provided us with translators in the past. Done. Excellent. After that, make sure that exactly read section 207, 208 from the back of your head. See whether you can establish past persecution. And if you can, excellent. And if you're a scholar, you should know why past persecution is more important than future persecution. And I'm going to leave that question open because I want senior lawyers to come and interact here. Because my brothers, I'm here to learn from you guys, and we are here to share the knowledge. And what is the difference between past persecution and future persecution? You'll also have a quiz on these classes when I teach. So there's a big difference. Now you're done with that, but before that, you need to make sure that the respondent is a credible witness. And whether your asylum application is non-frivolous. Because if it is a frivolous action, you can even lose your license. Be careful. And sometimes the client will tell you, why don't you write the story for me? Good lawyers say, no, I can't do that for you. I cannot make up facts. Common mistakes I've seen in the profession. Recently, I've seen a case wherein the client told me things which I was surprised to see that the lawyer even took up the case. But I helped him in some other ways to say, I told him, listen, you know what? It's better for you to somehow look at some other avenue to get your green card. Pathetic presentation of the case. So that is important when you take up an asylum case. Please don't take immigration law as a joke. It's a very serious area of the law. And someone told me something about immigration a while ago. He said, you know what? I just took up an asylum case and I won. And I said, what did you do? He said, I just put up the facts and the officer was nice. You're lucky that happened. It's like going to a pharmacy, picking up a pill and drinking water and saying, oh, by God, you know what? The great news is that I don't have fever anymore. But imagine If it's something else in your body, you can even lose your life. So here, if you're not good, you can really be yelled at by the judge. USCIS has the discretion to make sure that you're doing the right thing because they can also report you. If you look up online, you'll see lawyers who are in trouble just because they don't know what they're doing. Now you got the facts in order. And after that, you got your credibility issues correct. Then you want to show that the respondents' fear rises to the level of persecution. Very important burden to prove. Credibility should be fantastic. And then after that, you have to show that that basically he'll be persecuted in his country. It can be because of his political opinion. It can be because of his race. It can be because of his religion. It can be because of his membership in a particular group. Well and dandy that you're done over there. Then also make sure that the respondent cannot settle in a third country. That's very important. Suppose if he says he has a dual passport, he has a passport from Europe now, plus he has a passport from Australia, judge is going to tell you, oh, excuse me, man, you have these two wonderful passports. What the hell are you doing there? Mistakes that happen from lawyers. Be very careful. I've seen that mistake from a lawyer too. But I'm very nice. I always make peace with lawyers because I respect lawyers. I always tell lawyers, work with lawyers, don't go against lawyers. Rule number one. Because everyone is here to learn from each other. Today, you pointed a mistake. Tomorrow, someone else may point a mistake upon you. And you're killing the profession by basically blaming your professional brother. I don't believe in those philosophies. Good lawyers find a way. Look at this movie, 36 Chamber of Shaolin. I love that movie. In that, what happened is the one monk who's on top of the ledge, he's about to fall. But this great monk, he helps him to stand. So our job is to help lawyers who are not doing well to grow. Give them a polite lecture. But you know what? There's enough work for all of us to survive, folks. So try to help that lawyer who did the mistake. Now you're done with that. Then after that, you're done with respondents fear, you're done with the third country. Also make sure that you have proper documentation in the case. You should know the case laws from the back of your head. You should know what is the matter of Mogherabi. You should know what the matter of Chen is. You have to know what is Cardozo Fonseca from the back of your head. That's known as earning respect in immigration. Now done with this great application. But before you're done, there's a very important step you have to take. You have to make sure that your client reads and understands the application. And if he tells you that this is not correct, change it. Make sure that it's perfect, but also inform him the consequences if he doesn't tell you that this is missing, that is missing. That's your duty to make sure that you both are on the same page. Now you submitted the asylum application. You went before the immigration officer. So the officer may ask you questions, your client the questions. Then you have the right to clarify the question and answers. If your client committed a mistake, you can ask him, can you clarify this further? These are techniques which are not taught everywhere. And, this is what we do at MyLS. Thanks to MyLS for having this platform open to lawyers who struggle with these answers. When they struggle, they come to MyLS, they say, okay, I want to join, because instant help is available here. Of course, not at the same moment, but someone will be holding your hand for sure. Someone will call you and help you. Hey, listen, this is a part of the service. That's what I like about MyLS. You have very, very good experienced people working here who will help you out and tell you, hey, this is the answer, nothing to panic, and you can pass through that. So that's what we do here for a lot of people here. And we have people who called us and we try to help them as much as possible here. So now, after that, what happens is that you're done with the application, you mailed it out, you met this immigration officer. Now, unfortunately, the immigration officer thinks that I cannot run this application. Now, take an example why. As you know, generally, you have to file an asylum application in 1 year. But he said, everything looks good, but you're filing it after 1 year, and I don't believe there were exceptional circumstances. All right. Also, another thing, we're also going to have some very advanced session about political asylums. It's a very, very good topic for us to continue in future. There'll be advanced versions wherein even senior lawyers can come in and I can learn from them and we'll go to every group of asylum. And we are also planning on having some great speakers. And actually, there's someone who has served on the grievance committee in the past. Even he'll be joining us very soon, and we are trying to get him. And if you have recommendations that if you have friends who want to speak, I think you should contact Anjali about this and the team over here. Now you're done with this part of it. Now he is referring to an immigration judge. Yes. Now let's begin the journey before the immigration court. Your client is going to get the form I-862. Now, what is the 862? Is he's going to say that I denied your application and you're being sent to the immigration judge. Now, you're going to get a notice to appear before an immigration judge. And commonly, they're going to tell you this in the notice. Don't be nervous. Immediately get help from a good lawyer, even if you're not very well trained, because there are two types of judges in immigration. I've only seen two types. I've never seen the third type. Either very good judges or second, very conservative judges who expect you to know everything, and they go very much by the book. And nothing wrong with that. So be careful. And a lot of our senior lawyers will say something over here. They'll say that, and they have a smile on their face when they see these lawyers who haven't practiced immigration. They go in front of the court and they make a fool of themselves. And I know some of my wonderful friends will be like, why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you ask me? I would have helped you. There's no harm in asking for help, folks. Even today, I ask for help from everyone. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I tell everyone, hey, listen, you're better than me, man. What's the big deal? There are many good lawyers who are out there to help you. And I try my best to help everyone I meet, because I was trained by wonderful mentors. And I need to definitely kind of thank my mentor who trained me in asylum law. And that is Mark von Sternberg from Catholic Charities. I cannot thank him enough. He is my hero, my guru in asylum. I'm sure most of the seasoned lawyers knows who is Mark von Sternberg, the man who made me what I am today. I'm completely kind of indebted to him. And of course, my thanks to wonderful judges like Patricia Rohan. Cannot thank her enough. And including like Judge Buckspan. I'm very disheartened to see my wonderful judges, one of them who passed away, Judge Van Wyk, whom I loved very dearly. And of course, Philip Morris, I can never forget in my life. So these are my heroes. So end of the day, the training was given, then I'm here in immigration court now. Now I got my NTA. Of course, if you haven't done this before, ask someone to at least counsel you. There's no harm in it. Because when you're dealing with immigration court, especially if you're dealing with Georgia, if you're dealing with the South, you're dealing with some very, very conservative judges. And they're going to look at the application thoroughly. And then after that, they're also going to look into your house. Counselor, what are you doing out here? So be careful, be safe, rather than being sorry. And they love to read the application. Now you got this NTA. Next thing I would do is call this number 1-800-898-7180. You'll be, after you get the notice, after you get this NTA, it'll either give the date. Sometimes the date changes. Always a good idea to call the number and check whether the matter is on that date. Then after that, you got to go to the ECAS portal. ECAS is exactly a portal, but it's an electronic portal for immigration. And then after that, you're going to see your NTA over there. And then after that, you need to upload your EUR-28. That is your notice of appearance as an attorney. Now you uploaded your notice of appearance as an attorney. Now what do I do? Since I'm a very conservative lawyer, I have this habit of even putting up the written pleadings up over there. Makes you look like a hero. And not many lawyers, like to do that, but I like to do that. Unless sometimes judges have said, why did you have to do it? I said, well, judge, the EOR manual is something that everyone has to know. Everyone should know the EOR manual from the back of their head. And we're also going to go through the manual with lawyers who are scared to understand the manual. Will do that too. So after that is done, now the next thing what you did is you're done with this fantastic thing you went through. Your EUR-28 is filed. Now you should file the written pleadings. And that's a great idea always, because some judges will really respect you if you do that. Now comes the day for the master calendar hearing. The first hearing generally is a master. I've never seen an individual at the first one ever. So And there are judges, which I've seen, who even tried to convert a master into an individual hearing. And that did happen with me once. And that was quite disheartening. But I was smart enough to let the judge know, Judge, this is a master. I need my time. So you need a mentor who can train you even how to talk before a judge. And we're going to get to some great advanced session over here. Some amazing advanced sessions from all my experience of I've handled, basically, hearings in the court. And most of the judges are fantastic, absolutely. But you get one or two judges who basically kind of, test your knowledge too, which they have every right to do. I respect every judge in my life. Every judge, I respect them. They all work hard. They all are entitled to their ideas and opinions, and that's fine. That's what our justice system is all about. So now I'm before this particular judge, and I want to make sure that I have my written pleadings. Generally, in an asylum proceeding, this is general advice, it's not specific. Never designate a country. Generally, only until it's your choice whether you do. Most lawyers do that. I'm not saying I'm doing that. It's a general statement. Then plead to the NTA properly. And sometimes one mistake which I've seen about lawyers is they blindly admit the allegations of the notice to appear. Never do that. Never do that. Look at the matter of Pereira, wherein exactly cases have been overturned. That's a very important case for people to know. And that's something, you have to learn how to fight to terminate an NTA. And some people commit this mistake of just admitting allegations. You don't have to admit every single allegation. That comes with a lot of experience, folks. And then sometimes they may say you're an arriving alien. You're not an arriving alien. Being an arriving alien can be a good thing. It can be a blessing or a curse. It can be a blessing or a curse, as I said. You have to be careful when you plead to the NTA. After you plead to the NTA, notice to appear, and you're not a citizen of the United States. You may have been a citizen of the United States. We don't know. We don't know what your parents were, whatnot. Look at everything under microscope before you make any kind of basically assumption on your application. And now, if you're an American citizen and if you're applying for asylum, it looks ridiculous. But you can still let the judge know, I'm sorry, this happened because I was born in America. I came back from Guatemala, but I didn't know that I was born in America and I was thrown into this country, ABC, and I'm back right now into India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, into Guatemala, El Salvador. I don't know. The judge will smile at you. Okay, he'll say, okay, you proved you're a citizen and I'm going to let you go. Look at it. What some of the lawyers do, they say, okay, admit. That's not a good lawyer. Nah. He looks at the NTA under a microscope. Then, sometime recently, we did a case wherein exactly this person was coming back from a foreign country. He was a green card holder. And the officer gave him an NTA. We went to the court. We filed a motion to terminate. It was granted. You save that time and aggravation for your client. Now, after you've gone through this NTA, then after that, the judge is going to ask you, what reliefs are you seeking? In an asylum case, the common reliefs are that my client is seeking political asylum, relief under the article under the Convention Against Torture, withholding of removal. Now, voluntary departure is something which is a blessing and a curse. That's a whole subject by itself. And even the most seasoned lawyers struggle with voluntary departure. Whether I should take it or no, whether it's a blessing or a curse. We'll have a full lecture about voluntary departures, when to take it and when not to take it in future. And that's an advanced session that we intend to have. Now, after that, basically the thing is that you're done with the written pleadings and everything. Now, some lawyers, what do they do when they appear for the first master? Is they'll tell the judge that I need time. All right, the judge will give you some time. And then after that, also let your lawyer know very clearly if you got the work permit, well and good, but just make sure that your work permit is filed as soon as, the time is up, the clock ticks. You need to make sure that your work permit is filed. So you'll get your work permit and everything. Now, after that comes the most important thing. The judge may give you another master. So a good lawyer will make sure that you have enough affidavits, you have enough documents and everything. And after you have enough documents and everything, then you submit it. So right now, what you're going to do is we're going to take some questions from Anjali, And even if you have any questions, you can keep asking me. Then I'm going to go to the next part of the session, which is going to cover the individual hearing in the case and the importance of the individual hearing. I hope you all are enjoying it. And if you like it, let your friends know to join us. And please do like us on Facebook. Please do give us your comments. That's how we can learn from all of you of how we can make things better for everybody here. Anjali, any questions so far? You're on mute.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, having the conversation with you is so knowledgeable. I'm sure our attendees are also, enjoying the session. And it's my special request to all the people who are seeing us live that you have a chance to win a gift hamper from MyLegal Software. All you have to do is basically take a screenshot or photo of this session, and you have to send it on your account of LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And you have to tag us, that is MyLegal Software. You might get a chance to win a gift hamper from us. So as you've mentioned many times that legal help is of, it's of great importance when it comes to attorneys or fighting cases in the court. So that is why we have built this MyLS community where we offer free legal mentorship, free seminars to whoever who wants to come in, ask any legal questions. So we also have a thing called MyLS Advisor, where they can send us questions, whatever legal questions they have, and we will help them at an extent from wherever we are standing. Also, I would like to mention that especially for this month, that is till 31st of August, we've also come up with a 14-day free trial for whoever signs up in between this time. So moving on for the session, we are having actually, the emails are full of the questions. So I would like to move to the questions on the next part. So the next question, the first question I would like to address is, so Mr. Gehi, this comes difficult part of the lawyer. What do judges look at? What happens when you get a strict judge? Like if a judge is suspecting an application, what do we do?
All right. Number one is to make sure, that's why I said earlier that it's important for them to make sure that the client reads the application. And after that, he knows what is in the application, because sometimes judges, they even ask the client that, did you understand the nature and consequences of the application? Did the lawyer even read the application to you? So be very careful, because if he finds that the asylum application is frivolous, if the client doesn't know what he's talking about, and if he says the lawyer did not explain me about what is written in the application, you're looking at serious trouble.
Okay. So next question is, can I apply for a late asylum?
Yes, you can apply, provided you can prove extraordinary circumstances. And it's a part of the law wherein exactly one can, under section 209 of the INA, if we look it up, there's a particular section, and always take good mentorship for these issues, especially because, you have to make sure that they were beyond your control. And that's an art by itself. For that, I would say, the more you learn about immigration, the better you can get some mentorship on that. Yes.
So since you were mentioning about political asylum, so I'd like to just address a small question about the same. So our lawyer wants to know, can the client get a work permit when he applies for a political asylum?
Yes. So what happens is that, after you submit your application, you've got to wait for some time, and you got to follow the clock rules. After 150 days, after that, basically the thing is, then you can apply for your work permit. So give or take from the time you file it, approximately after 8 or 9 months, you can get your approximately, as I said, I want to kind of stress on the word approximately. Then after that, you can get your work permit, you can get your social, then you can apply for a driver's license. Yes. So that's, okay. You get your work permit and you're good to go. Your client is happy with that and the case moves on.
Okay. Okay. So next question is, so this is a very good question. So a lawyer wants to know, why do attorneys get yelled in an immigration court? And I'm sure you must have seen it many times.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, most lawyers are very good. They're seasoned and have a lot of respect for them. But if you're having someone who's never practiced immigration before and who doesn't know the ABCDs, if they're going to take up a case without studying very hard and understanding the law, or without taking proper CLEs, of course, the judge, has to do his job too. He has to make sure, but most judges give a second chance. They'll tell you, go back, make sure that you learn everything and come back. So therefore, it's better for you to be very well prepared, because some people think that immigration is very easy to practice. And yes, it is easy, but you need to have some kind of basically hand-holding, as I mentioned. and if you're not prepared properly, if you don't follow the rules properly, and that can be a problem. Only by reading books you cannot become an immigration lawyer, because there's a practical aspect involved in immigration too. So it's good, of course. What if you're very good at it? Of course you can, but I would say that be safe rather than sorry is the best way to describe this issue. Yes.
So talking about this hand-holding situation, since you have actually trained so many lawyers over the years, so why do lawyers need hand-holding while trying the immigration matter? And like, where do they seek help? Where can they go and ask for help?
See, the biggest thing is that, I think most seasoned lawyers know this very well. What happens sometimes is, Anjali, that people know the facts very well. And they think that by knowing the facts, that applies not only in asylum, that applies in everything you're going to do in life, or even if you are kind of basically working on something else over here. So, end of the day, what happens in these cases is that when you hit, when you hit that kind of critical point, and if there's no handholding, you can mess up a good case. And for example, you were just literally about to win the case, and just because you did not ask those questions, you may lose that case. A recent example is that a friend of mine was asking me this question, and there was a simple question asked by the government to the client, and this came at one of my gatherings when my friends were chatting, and this lawyer basically was a seasoned lawyer, and he was very good at it. The government asked a question, so who was the person who slapped you? So the answer from the client was that exactly, I don't know. So then that good lawyer went back and told him that you don't know means, can you describe what you don't know? Then the client went on and he clarified the question. I said, I know the person who slapped me was the person basically who hated me, and he was a member of the political party. Excellent. This is known as the art of doing a good trial. Brilliant job by this lawyer. So he was even able to kind of, get that client back into the stream of things. And therefore, all that requires training, that requires a fantastic level of chemistry with the client. And that requires like that kind of experience which is needed to even turn the table around. Brilliant. So what happens with a lot of lawyers, if the client sometimes in the courtroom doesn't give a proper answer, they just start panicking, they give up. But a good lawyer tries to make a comeback, and that's an art. And a good lawyer also knows how to object. And we'll have a session about objections and immigration matters, and of how to object. Because when I've seen trials, sometimes what happens is that your adversary may go on and on. You may not object, and that may not be good for you. And your adversary has every right to kind of ask questions, but those questions sometimes may basically not fit the confines of the evidence system of the country. So you have to make sure that adversary is confined to the rules of evidence. That's your job as a lawyer, to maintain the system of checks and balances.
That's true. So all the people who are seeing this live now, people who have joined us right now, thank you so much for joining us. And you can post the legal questions. If you have any questions, you can either put it on the comment section. Alternatively, you can also email us the questions on legalquestions@mylegalsoftware.com. We'll address your questions during the live session. If not possible, then we'll definitely give you a reply on the same email ID. So moving on to the next question, sir. So the next question is from a paralegal, and they want to know what are the factors that are considered in an asylum application.
All right, the factors, as I mentioned, membership in the political opinion, race, religion, and you're looking at social group. These are factors which are considered very heavily in asylum cases. And we'll have to, as I said, we'll have enough sessions to deep dive into them for paralegals and for lawyers who are working for law firms. And if you're working for a law firm, if you're a paralegal, please take permission from your boss who's an attorney to give you time to join them and everything, so we can kind of take it to the next level. Also, I'd love to hear from paralegals who are working for different firms, not only immigration firms. And if they want to get into immigration, we'll be happy to help them to make sure that we go through the step-by-step process. And they can also grow the practices, they can learn, and the paralegal gets an opportunity to come up in the firm. If you're a manager in the law firm, you can join us on these sessions and will make sure that, we all grow together. That's how things have to be. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So next question is, why do most lawyers consider for applying for asylum when a person is illegal in US?
All right, because asylum is one way through which if the person wins, the great news is that he can still qualify for a green card. Now, take an example about a person from Venezuela. He's here for a long time, all right? Even he's been here illegal for a long time. The Department of State knows that exactly that country conditions are bad and the person cannot go back. That's why they have TPS, which we're going to talk about in future, and they can apply for a late asylum, of course. That's why even suppose the good thing about an asylum case is you can self-apply for asylum. You don't need a sponsor. So you don't need a company to sponsor you. You don't need a person to sponsor you. It is your own application before the court, provided you show that you'll be persecuted under section 207, 208, because of your race, religion, membership in a social group, or because of your political opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the other matters like affirmative asylum and defensive asylum, since we're talking about asylums?
Okay, very good question. An affirmative asylum is an asylum when you're filing it in court on your own recognizance or before USCIS. Defensive asylum is then when you're asked by the government to come and show up in court, which means that they served you a notice to appear and they got you over there and they want you to do this. So that's why exactly, things happen really.
Okay. So next question is from an attorney and he wants to know, can I win an asylum case even when I don't have a police report for my client?
Yes, you can. You don't need a police report. You don't need a police report.
Okay. Okay. So next question is, what documents, so list of documents that I should be providing to the court for my second master hearing?
Right. For the second master, generally for the first master, my habit is to put everything up at the first master. But if it's a second master, what you can do is you make sure that you have all the documents critically important. You have to make sure that you have everything in order, which means right from affidavits, right from country conditions report to everything. And you have to make sure that everything is perfect, including a memorandum of law, which is needed. A doctor's report may be necessary. It all depends on the facts of the case or what is needed. And once if you put it up, then you're good to go. Yes. Make sure that you follow the EOR manual very well. Another mistake done by a lot of new people who appear before immigration court. They do not follow the manual. They do not have the pleadings in order. They don't have the pages in order. They just basically kind of submit it and the judge gets very upset because he will tell you within a minute, why didn't you follow this? Also look at the judge's rules. So, when I talk to lawyers, I tell them, hey, did you look at the judge's rule? I didn't know that the judge had a rule. Even immigration judges have rules, folks. Respect them, follow them, and respect every judge. I tell every lawyer that your respect before the court should be at a very high level. I'm a federal lawyer. I actually appear in federal district court. We have cases going on. I filed cases in the Second Circuit. The biggest thing which I've learned from all these wonderful judges is the word respect. So you have to carry yourself at a very high level and impress the judge, and the judge will reciprocate the same way. Respect is mutual, folks. Even if the judge is in a bad mood, it's your duty to be nice. And what you can do, let the judge know, judge, can we please go on the record? So what happens is that, you kind of basically have a balancing effect here. Balancing effect. And if the judge is still not ready to listen to you, file a memo in court. So, basically that's the way of how you deal. And that judge is really going to respect you. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Don't let that happen in the courtroom.
So next question is, what is the concept of credibility and importance of testimony in an asylum matters?
See, credibility, the leading case on the point is the matter of Chen. I tell everyone, if there are minor inconsistencies in the testimony of a person, what you can do is you can explain it to the judge and tell them because, the persecution happened a while ago and you cannot remember everything. Good judges will give you an opportunity to kind of, clarify those issues. So credibility is the heart of the game, which means whether this person should have believed him or not. And when he is before the judge, and the judge has every right to ask him questions in immigration cases. And even the government has every right to ask him a question, and there's direct examination, there's cross-examination, and there's redirect. So credibility is the first thing that's tested. And a good lawyer knows how to bring up, how to kind of basically, start the case, the comfort level of the client, starting from basics. We'll have a whole session on that. We'll have one or two other lawyers join us. We'll talk about credibility and everything, and we'll take it further from those issues. Yes.
Okay. So next question is from a new attorney, and she wants to know what kind of questions can a judge ask me?
A judge can ask you any questions about the asylum application. Any questions. Respect them. Do the right thing.
Okay. So next question is, should my client accept a voluntary departure?
Tough question. Most lawyers will say, no, don't do it. Suppose if the client does not have any unlawful presence, and if he was on a student visa, do you know that the person can go back and come back on an H-1B? So don't just close the door. Look at the law carefully. And yes, on many occasions, I don't take voluntary departure. I know what people might be thinking here, whether that's a good answer, but if you are giving it a very, very deep thought, and if you're a seasoned lawyer, balance the equities. I know 9 out of 10 times we say no voluntary departure because it doesn't make any sense if there's unlawful presence under 212A9B of the INA. And if you're going back, you're subjected to the 10-year bar. I know that. That's an easy question for me. But from an advanced perspective, I look at everything.
Okay.
And then after that, I had a client wherein exactly he came in on the student visa, out of status for a very short time. I accepted voluntary departure and I got him back on an H-1B. He didn't have anyone else. He couldn't marry. And like the judge said, very good, Mr. Gehi. He said, why are you taking it? I said, yeah, it is. And here's the H-1B approval. Thank you. So look at everything, folks. Years ago, I handled this case. So don't just basically throw the towel and say, oh, no, I'm not taking it. And there are times wherein exactly, I don't want to mention this, my associate was in immigration court in one part of the country. And the judge was insisting that my associate take voluntary departure. And my associate was smart enough. She said, I would like to make a phone call, judge. And my associate was asking the judge for a sidebar. And she got a sidebar. She called me, said, judge is telling me, should I take voluntary departure? I said, do not take it. Do not take it. But this was a marriage-based immigration case. My client was adjustable, and interesting for some good lawyers to listen to the story. Clearly adjustable under 245A of the INA. Everything was fine. But according, the government came up with a very out of the box theory. She said that exactly the problem is in the case that the person who's the joint sponsor of the affidavit of support was arrested for unforeseen reasons. Then the judge said, well, that's a serious issue. We said, no, judge, that's not. It's not, because having a crime does not mean that the person cannot basically be a joint sponsor. There's nothing written under section 213 of the INA. Then the judge said that I'm going to give you voluntary departure if you accept, others I'm going to order you deported. I told my wonderful associate, take that order of deportation. That needs guts and knowledge. Case got remanded, we won. So this is where mentorship comes in, folks. We are all good at what we do, but we sometimes need that little help, because even I reach out to someone, and that's what exactly a MyLS will be doing more than anything. So this is meant for all of us, and I must thank everyone here, for being here today, whoever is here, and I respect all my senior lawyers, my brothers, my sisters, who was watching today. You always have my full support. As I told you, no one knows everything in the law, but if I can, share my knowledge with you, which is just a drop in the ocean, I'll be happy to share it with each one of you. And I'm here to learn from you more than actually kind of, do this. Of course, like I've been rated very highly in the profession, thanks to all of you, but I'm always ready to learn, because there's no end to learning in my life.
So that's really nice of you. That's really kind of you to be here for us. Also, to all the people who are seeing this live, I'd like to mention again that you can post your legal questions, and our attorney panel can help you out sorting your questions.
So I have one question over here from Kuldeep. on LinkedIn on question the Indian caste system comes under. So you can go for religion, because if you're a good lawyer, you need to look into Manu, M-A-N-U. Manu was the lawgiver in India at one time, not talking about legal books, I'm talking about the religious lawgiver. And he was very much into the caste system, and that comes under the later Vedic age for someone who wants to read it as a scholar. So I would put the caste issue under basically religion. You can also go for it under social group. So those are the two major groups, Kuldeep, you should look at if you're a lawyer. And that's how you can kind of basically argue this case. And remember, this does not constitute legal advice. This is not specific. This is my statements are general in nature and does not apply to any particular facts or circumstances. And that's one thing which was a waiver in the beginning. We would like to always repeat that. We are professionals at MyLS as well as I am. We take that very seriously. This advice is general in nature. What are the other matters like affirmative asylum and what is a defensive asylum? Yes, affirmative is this when you apply for your asylum application on your own. And a defensive application is when you get called by immigration over there to the court. You get picked up in your house and you're up before an immigration judge. That is the defensive application. When you're put into proceedings by the government, that is the defensive. When you apply on your own, that is it. Yes. Next.
Yes, thank you, sir. So I just want to mention that all our people who are watching us live have an option to win a gift hamper from My Legal Software. All they have to do is take a screenshot or picture of the session and post it on their LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook handle. And they have to mention us. They have to tag us by My Legal Software. I'd also like to take the opportunity to request all the attendees to give us your legal questions. You can post your legal questions on my legal questions at mylegalsoftware.com, and we'd address the questions during our live sessions. If not, we'll definitely get back to you over the email. Sir, I'm going to address the smallest question that I received.
Yeah, there's some things which I want to answer on my own for some people, like, who asked me some questions in my own office. And I thought, like, I also like to make it general. Now, the thing is that someone asked if someone is undergoing a divorce and it's in the middle of, an adjustment and the adjustment interview was done. And after that, someone has filed for a divorce. If the green card is not on its way, what do we do? Be very careful in those situations because I use My Legal Software. This software, what I like about My Legal Software is that we practice divorces by using this software. We can use it for personal injury because in our firm we do everything. So in those situations, I would prefer what you do is recently I had a divorce case which came to us, and this issue was about like someone who the officer said you passed the adjustment interview, but the green card was not in the mail. And it has been 2 years that the green card was pending. And the divorce came to us. So the client also transferred the immigration case to us. And we were representing the beneficiary. So first I created the case. I kept the divorce case separate on a MyLS. And I like that feature that you can separate both the cases. You can even merge them. Then I used the immigration forms feature of My Legal Software. And then I checked it up and I went online and I also used some of the research tools which were there. And I found out that the case has been up for more than 2 years. And looking at the portal, I went on it and I said, okay. So what I did, I filed a mandamus on that, got the green card approved, and I had a stipulation with the other lawyer that exactly I need some time. Then after that, I went for it. So this is something which is also a part of mentorship that we can assist you with. And that happens a lot with family lawyers and all. We are there to help you. And that's not an issue. We are all lawyers. We are here to work with each other. So don't just basically throw the towel and just get the divorce because you're messing up the client's life just because of that one error. This poor guy may not get the green card, and especially when there's no abuse in the relationship. So remember, there are ways out. And even if it goes for litigation, don't be scared. We are here to help you. We are there for you, especially if in New York, I can help you with, domestic relations law. We can help you with personal injury a little bit. We can do research for you. Yes, as I said, even that little advice may help you. I'm not saying it will help you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, this is my personal question. So being a founder for MyLS, so what were the features, like why were you inclined towards making a software that is, that fits all needs of all the...
The first thing is that I'm not a seller. I'm not saying that I'm not going to tell people to buy the software or use it. It's important, but most importantly, look at the features. And if you're comfortable, then you go for it. And because what we did in MyLS, thanks to all these wonderful lawyers who work for me, and even the previous batch of lawyers, they were giving us recommendations every day. And I'm the founder. There are other people involved in this company. I'm just that small person who had to do my job. We made sure that we listened to matrimonial lawyers, we listened to our family lawyers, and we came up with a portal that has literally everything which you may not find in a lot of portals. Like what I like about this particular software is that I even know if I assign a case to somebody, if that person leaves, there was a reassignment feature, so I know where that case was left off. I can find many different types of reports in this software. Then other than that, it gives me fantastic reminders about my court appearances. And in this software, you have a special column for master calendar hearings. I even know how many master calendar hearings I have. I have something for visa processing, and I'm using your help for visa processing for people like who are abroad. That saves me money and time. So that's what I like about it. And of course, there's no software which is perfect, but it has like more features than I've seen in other softwares. And of course, I respect other software people too, but at the end of the day, one should try to actually believe it.
Yes, sir. So keeping that in mind, I'd like to also take this opportunity to mention that we also have a 14-day free trial, no commitment, no credit cards required, and no obligations from you. If you're a lawyer, if you have a law firm, or if you want to try the software, you're handling cases, we are giving a 14-day of free trial. And if you sign up within this month, we also offer special discounts. So just drop us your emails, or you can go to the website. That is mylegalsoftware.com website, and you can just schedule a demo, or you can directly start your free trial. So that is the option that we are providing to the attorneys this month. So next, I want to know that this MyLegal software, you have receptionists working from other countries for you. So how happy are you using it?
Very happy, because the good thing is that I don't have to worry about, like, they take the calls beautifully. Thank you for that, and transfer the calls. That's one thing I like. I like the NVC portion, but then I don't have to worry about being on hold for a long time. The NVC team there does a fantastic job. There are people based in Philippines. We have people working in India. See, the other good thing is I like about MyLS is the security feature. The data is fully secured and it's in the cloud. Couldn't have asked for anything better on that. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And as I said, we just want people to try it out. And if you're not comfortable, don't go for it. If you're happy, go for it. And the biggest thing is that you're getting this mentorship if you want to start your practice. If you're a new lawyer, you're a seasoned lawyer also. If you need help, we are there, because we don't only do litigation. We also do employment-based immigration. I have a background in many, many areas of immigration, and that may be helpful, including general practice to lawyers too. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So also, I would like to mention that the idea behind MyLS and having these three sessions is that we're looking forward to building a community where we can, help each other out. For an example, there can be cases where they need our help, and if we have two people who need help with each other, we can, connect both of them so that they can get in touch and solve the problem that they're facing. And that is why we request all the lawyers to join the MyLS community, to register for MyLS advisor, because it's completely free of cost. You don't have to take a MyLS subscription for that. MyLS subscription is if you want to grow your immigration practice, and if you want to manage your cases better, and you have a firm where you have team management as a task, where you have a case management as a task. If you want to track the invoicing, you want to track the documents, you want to know what your day is going to look like, the calendars and the integrations. If you have, we have DocuSign, we have Google Calendars, we have WebEx. We are also coming up with QuickBooks. So we will also are open to more integrations, but that of course depends on the the basic chemistry between the two softwares. So we are open to all of that. And thank you so much for such a knowledgeable session, sir. And
so
I
just
hope
a few things before we leave. We'll have a few more. I need to answer one question from Kuldeep Singh that says that 8 CFR 1208 basically talks about the procedures of asylum and the requirements of asylum law. And I've mentioned a lot of it. But if they want to go further, they can email you, and we can take it further from there. And it talks about the theory of persecution, the requirements of persecution based upon race, alienage, and basically upon membership in a social group and everything. That entire section, it's basically we'll have a complete session on that issue. But to make a long story short, it speaks about like that, you have established a fear of, you have to establish a fear of persecution in your home country because of race, religion, membership in a social group, and how to prove those factors. That's critically important. The amount of evidence that's needed. Then what is the definition of past persecution? How do you establish past persecution? And if you don't have documents, then how does Mogarabi come into play? That's the case law. All those are the factors that are kind of mentioned in 1208. So the smart thing for a lawyer to do is to go back to the statute, go to 8 CFR 1208, and from Nitin Bharadwaj, have you tried a case in the Second Circuit? My answer is yes, I have. So
Sir,
we've done Second Circuit too, and we've done Federal District Court too, and we've been there. Yes, Nitin, yes, we have. So, but remember, circuits are very difficult in asylum cases, but you have another type of case, they're more open to listening, but judges are very, very kind of concerned when it comes to asylum, because you need to look at it. If it's a question of law, for example, but I would take a case to a Second Circuit, because you have to understand that Second Circuit is all about respect and about your credibility before the court. I would not take a weak asylum application to the Second Circuit, because you're actually kind of tarnishing your impression and you're wasting the judge's time. But for example, if you have a domestic violence case, and this person was, kind of beaten up because of dowry, or because I'm just taking an example about domestic violence was severe, and the judge said, no, I don't think so, I agree. Now, take an example a while ago when the previous Attorney General said that, domestic violence is not a part of social group. I would have taken that case to the Second Circuit, because the judge is interested in listening to you. But if all the BI appeals have already said that this is something that is not kind of, that is something that's not going to fly, then I would not take it. But if a different circuit has ruled in your favor, then go to the Second Circuit. But if all the circuits have said no, be very careful. So be careful, because, I don't want you to be kind of getting into trouble before the Second Circuit. Be careful, be good, do well before the Second Circuit, because you're having some very senior, powerful judges in the Second Circuit, and I have a lot of respect for judges in the Second Circuit. Should up immigration, what is this now? What happens? Okay. Should a client accept voluntary departure? As I mentioned, be very careful when you accept voluntary departure. Generally, if there's unlawful presence under 212A9B, I would strongly recommend you not to do that, depending upon the facts and circumstances of the case. Because you'll be subjected to the 10-year bar if you overstayed for more than 1 year. If you overstayed for more than 6 months, then the issue is that you'll be getting a bar for 3 years. What happens when my immigration case gets denied?
Next question is, what happens when my immigration case gets denied?
All right, if your immigration case gets denied, then what do? You can appeal it, file a motion to reopen. That's exactly what you can do, or leave the country.
Okay. So I think we are getting more and more questions. So we'll just address a couple of more questions.
All right, we'll take some more questions. Everyone, folks, if you're on Facebook, come in. This is a live session. Yes, I can see you. I'm here. And do like us on Facebook. And by the way, the only people who can really help me, even if you're not a lawyer, please send this clip to a lawyer.
Yes,
send it to your friends. And by the way, we are an immigration law firm too. And if there's something that you need, if you're a lawyer, if you have a question, we'll be happy to help you. This is mainly meant for all my attorneys, for my paralegals who love us very much. And without your love, we cannot do anything. And how can you just show your love and respect? Share this video. Like us on Facebook. Like us on LinkedIn. And if you really look at this whole video, don't look at the first 2 minutes. Look at the whole video. You'll see the difference. Yes.
So next question is, what is the role of BIA and what happens when the BIA dismisses?
All right. That's not a good thing when they dismiss your case. But most of the decisions, and I have my colleague laughing over here, most of the cases get dismissed by the BIA. And, they concur with the immigration judge. Then we are going to get into some advanced, issues of how can you even still get a green card, wherein basically your case has been denied by the immigration judge, number one, and you're before the BIA. And if you get married in between, we're going to talk about those cases. and how you can get a remand, and you can still get a green card in America. Done that too. And the BI will have to refer to their own case law, and they'll have to remand the case. We are going to talk about those cases too.
Yeah. Sir, next question is what are the biggest mistake a lawyer can do in the court?
Be impolite to the judge, even if the judge is not very happy with you. Learn to say the word sorry. Learn to say that I apologize if you're wrong, if you're late, you're wasting the judge's time. And secondly, if the judge is really kind of crossing the line, let him know that can we please go on the record and resolve this issue. Okay. Or tell the judge if things are not working out, can we please adjourn this case so we'll have a better day. Judges are human being, folks. Learn to work with them. And they're stressed sometimes. And that's what I have some great judges whom I respect very much. I salute Judge Jeffrey Chase if he's watching. He's my hero, my mentor. And I learn a lot from him. Great judge. And I openly say that. Jeffrey Chase is a great man, a great judge, a former judge, and he's the advisor with the Board of Immigration Appeals. Amazing human being. And a very, very high regard for Judge Chase. And of course, even the retired judges who are part of my LinkedIn, I thank you, judges, for all the great work you all have done. I cannot thank you enough because I really know, because with due respect, many people even asked me to become a judge. I said, I don't want to become a judge. Recently, someone told me, hey, why don't you become a judge in the civil court? I said, I don't want to become a judge. Many times I've been offered, people have told me, why don't you apply and everything? I don't want to judge. I respect the job that you all do. And I'm very happy being a lawyer because I know it's a lot of hard work. And, you have to have that judicial temperament. And after sometimes I get bombarded by all these 100 lawyers, I won't be able to take it. My apologies if I didn't consider that. Right, I serve as the advisor to the president of Suriname right now, on immigration matters, to the government of Suriname. I'm happy with what I'm doing. And thank you for the awesome job that all these wonderful lawyers are doing. Thank you to every lawyer for the great work you all do. Thank you to paralegals. Thank you to my judges. For me, respect is more important to every lawyer in the community, to every judge in our community.
So last couple of minutes, I would like to thank all of the people who are watching us. I hope all of your questions were answered. In case
all right, so I've seen the MyLS software, but can you tell me how will it help me to organize my court cases and appearances? I've just started my practice 8 months back. Yes, so in these cases, I think the best person to get in touch with is, I would say, Anjali. Then after that, Anjali, the person needs any mentorship or something, we'll be happy to help them, as much as we can, so that, we'll show him the right books and the right approach. But rest, of course, he's a lawyer. He'll have to, kind of read and do his best in the courtroom. Get in touch with Anjali, and I think that's mylegalsoftware.com. You can tell them how to get in touch with you, or call the phone number, and, you can reach out, ask for Anjali. And I need to thank a few people over here before I leave. I need to thank Priyanjali, Ravi, Urvashi, of course, Anjali, and everyone for putting this together. Don't forget to share this. And above all, what I enjoy is that, knowledge is something that I love to share. And I want more lawyers to come in and interact and come in and talk to us or email us. And let's make this into a friendship circle amongst all of us. But people who whine are not allowed to join. People who cry a lot are not allowed to join. But if you have a happy face, if you have a smiley face, then only come in and join us. Because life is too short, and I love smiling faces. I don't like cranky faces, folks. So that's me.
Okay, thank you so much for this knowledgeable session, sir. I hope everyone got what
And I need to thank the audience and each one of you. I think there are some more questions coming up.
So California allows to do private practice under the attorney for 4 years. Then you can give your bar exam, which is called practical training of law students. Please give some light on that as well.
All right, for that, I think the best approach is that what you can do is you can go on the California Bar website. It's becoming a little difficult, what I've heard, from people. This is just general in nature, but yes, you can just basically, work under lawyer, get the right training. And if the bar committee in California, if they allow you to take the bar, then I think you should be able to. But make sure that you check it on their website and then follow the rules. And if they deny you once, they'll tell you why they denied you and follow the track, and you can go there further. But it's a very strict requirement. Yes. So,
Okay, so
folks, next week's show. Ready, everyone? This is meant for seasoned lawyers, meant for people who love to fight cases in the courtroom, meant for people who want to take things to federal court. Yes, we are going to have something of how I've taken cases to federal court and the government had to issue an NTA, and how did we win some of our cases wherein people entered on a fraudulent passport. We did not have the evidence because the person who got the name took the passport back. How did we prove a case? What happened? That's what we're going to talk, and what you should do in those cases. And these are cases when your client does not want to leave America. So you have a client who's coming and telling you, hey, listen, I entered on someone else's passport. I did not see the passport. I'm not sure about the passport. I entered legally. The leading case on the point is the matter of Argulin, and the second case on the point is the matter of Quilintan. Discussion on that, how to fight those cases. And we are going to cite one of the cases. Fantastic section next time. And I have permission from my client, the matter of Prasad, in which the matter went up to the Southern District and they finally settled the case. And my client was granted adjustment of status. That's the matter of Prasad. I'm going to discuss that. I'm going to give you the citations. Therefore, next week's show, folks, very important show. Feel free to join us 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As far as this particular segment is concerned, nothing in this constitutes legal advice. And it's just advice which is general in nature. Paralegals, lawyers, the only way can help us. And if you want me to carry on the session, please make sure that you circulate. And if you look at this video, I can tell you if you're a paralegal, you've learned a lot. For a new lawyer, you learned a lot. And, just basically support my legal software so that we all can go together. Thank you so much. Thank you to wonderful judges. I salute you, judges, for the great job that you all do. Thank you to lawyers. Thank you to paralegals. And thank you to everybody for your smiles, for your love, and the respect that you give us. Thank you all.
Sam, big thank you to you too for such knowledgeable sessions.
I need to thank my team, not me. I need to thank all of you, Ravi, Urvashi, Priyanjali, of course, and Anjali, of course. All of you are just awesome. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. So this event was sponsored by MyLegal Software, which is an advanced legal case management software that you might know by now. So I would just like to conclude by saying that we give a 14-day free trial and it's limited time offer for this month. So I request all of you to just go and have a look at the software. It's free, no obligations. Nobody has to submit any credit card details and all of that. You also get free legal mentorship from our attorney panel, including Mr. Gehi. So just go to MyLS, register there, try the free trial period, and we'll see you in the next
Anjali,
session.
some good news is coming that this is great news actually. Since we have lawyers now whom we know want to come and speak on our panel. So we may have either during this session or of course we'll have it the following week. We may have Jody Felice, who was on the grievance committee and he's not on the grievance committee anymore. For 8 years, he will be talking to us about what is a lozada and when does a lozada happen and how lawyers can kind of basically make sure that they practice ethically, and if there's a grievance kind of letter, how do they respond to it? Great session coming up either next week or the following week. Keep this in mind. This is fantastic news. Thank you for each one of you for making this as a success. This makes it amazing to see that lawyers are watching. They want to participate with us. Any lawyer who's an immigration lawyer can come and participate on this forum. You're welcome to join us, folks.
Yes, sir. And whoever.
And also, don't forget, folks, there's another good side about it. This is on YouTube. This is on. This is going to be on Facebook. So you can also showcase your talent if you're a lawyer, and this may also help you to get clients. Look at the benefit of it. They will consider you to be a hero. I'm not one, please. I'm still learning from all of you. But you become the hero, and at least I can take a back seat, or I can at least basically make you the hero that you want to be, and I can ask you the questions out here. I'm welcoming everyone to join us and make it a success. And after that, I have also some more good news. Retired Supreme Court, New York Supreme Court judge, retired New York Supreme Court judge Thomas Raphael, who was in the matrimonial part, has also agreed to come and join us on My Legal Software. A lot happening on My Legal Software. And as I said, take a look at the software. It was created by lawyers for lawyers. I'm sure the word speaks it all. You just have to schedule a trial and spend around 20 or 30 minutes to see how good this is. And then you make a decision whether you want to go or no. And it's very reasonable, I believe. I think your prices are cheaper, I would say, than other
Yes,
softwares too, I believe.
yes, sir. We have, so the
Thank
client
you so
basically
much.
has to pay less. They get more when they're using MyLS.
Thank you all. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. We also provide a on-site training if you require. If you're based out of New York, we also
In New
provide that.
York, I believe. I think that's what
Yeah,
you're
yes,
doing.
it's New York. We provide a free training also, on-site training. So that's it for the day today. In case if you want to know who won the gift hamper, keep checking your social media handles. Our team will get back to you shortly on the same.
See, you get at least, even if you're a lawyer, okay, that's meant for lawyers and paralegals or law firms only. And if you're a lawyer or paralegal in the firm, you're going to get the gift hamper. So make sure, even now, it's time for you to basically make sure that you'll have to mention the name of the firm where you work, so that we'll be sending it to the law firm. It's applicable to lawyers and paralegals of law firms who are actively working for them. Let's make the rule clear. Thank you
Okay.
all.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you in the session, which is on next Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day.